Bonjour, bonjour. My name's Georgia. I'm a professional dancer here in Paris, and you're in our 45-metre square studio that I've just designed and renovated with my French fiance Paul. Come on in. I'm so thrilled to show you around. We've worked really hard to make this space beautiful and meaningful and authentic to our life here in Paris. So as you arrive, you get a little vintage handle to pop your bag and your coat down, maybe your shopping bags. So as you walk into the space, I feel like you immediately are drawn to the beautiful mosaic floors, which were here originally laid in 1920 when this extension of the master house was built. We're still renovating that side, but when we came here, we had literally pitch black. Actually used flashlights to come and inspect the surface areas. And the only thing that was redeeming in this whole space, which was open, there was no little wall here, were these beautiful floors. And the colors here, I would never have thought to put something down like this. They've all been hand laid, and there's one funny little one that I absolutely adore. I think someone had a sense of humor when they put them down. There's one bright blue tile right in the center of the entrance when you come in. I've looked and there's no other single blue tile elsewhere. And so he's just this one little lone wolf. And in the art piece that we have in the bathroom, there's some blue umbrellas, which are exact little wink to that color, because I think it's just that kind of unexpected joy that brings the meaning and the bit of humor to the home. And if it was a perfect world, you would never put a bright blue tile there, but it's there, and I'm so happy it is. And I'm so happy with this color and this backsplash tile. That's a Parisian metro tile. I feel like happy accidents actually are key to renovations, because we had these tiles left over from our last renovation. And we were trying to do this other herringbone style in the same smoky charcoal, and it just wasn't working. And as soon as we put these ones up on the wall, we were like, that is it. It literally just pulls it all together. So we bought this abandoned manor completely by chance. We were just finishing renovating a little cottage and we absolutely loved it. There was just one thing missing for us though, a workshop. Paul had an overflow of artist clients installing their art in exhibitions in Paris, and often he was preparing garden or welding in the kitchen. So when we did find this project, we saw it had an amazing underground level that could be converted into Paul's dream atelier workshop. And it just felt a little bit meant to be. I'm sure a lot of people were put off by the fact that it was completely off-grid and it was really in a derelict condition. And we took one look at each other and thought it'd be really special. We could bring it back to life, which we were quite excited about. But unfortunately, our developer already had their mitts on it and were trying to take it off the market and separate the manor, create 3 separate apartments, have 3 parking spots in the garden and 3 entrances inside, where it just came through one of them. And we just wanted to keep it as one home, which allowed us to have the sale in the end, which was really exciting. But for a hot minute there, we thought it's gone before we even had the chance to come in and look at it. Risked all our life savings to buy this property. But thankfully, I think the house chose us in the end, and we've been lovingly restoring her ever since. Nearly out of control there. So Paul's pulled out of the rubble all these gorgeous newspaper clippings. So we had such a stressful time. This was our first room we did in the renovation. So when we moved in, we didn't still have that kitchen. We definitely didn't have that beautiful bedroom, and we only had this tiny little sink and this non-negotiable bathtub that I insisted on having, kind of because I am a dancer and we need to have Epsom salt baths, and for muscle recovery, it's really important. And to balance that length, I thought a niche that also has that length will really help to frame the space and bring in a little bit of that Art Deco vibe, which is actually in the history of this wing. And so when we came to find some beautiful Bordeaux tiles in a shape that just fit perfectly in the era, unfortunately our plumber came and chopped them all in half and made the point come in the middle. But I feel like you actually lose the beauty of the shape, the real shape of it. And so this is a secret between the two of us. There's actually 2 lines of tiles, because he came back the next day and instead of ripping out the old ones, he just relayered the correct way in front. So you would never know the difference, but in actual fact, we've double tiled our niche. And the brass details really add that warmth, which is different from the kitchen. So in the kitchen, you may have noticed we went with chrome and the black handles, and that was to kind of separate the spaces mentally for you, create a different ambience. And it does have a completely different feel in here. It's really cozy and cocooning, and with the candles on, it's just really, really calming, which is exactly what we were hoping to achieve. Don't think that one's straight. Part of the charm, I suppose. This gallery wall that we've created, every piece here has a meaning or is authentic to the story of the house. I think the one that has the most meaning is the Bertolt Brecht print at the top, which has the history of the Epic Theatre production company that washed the costumes here. They wrote scripts. This house was used for the actors to even stay in while they were performing at the theatre. Bernard Sobel, who studied under Bertolt Brecht and brought it to France, which is really exciting. And so we have a kind of cabaret theatre motif, followed by actual artists within my family, which is my auntie who painted the flowering eucalyptus. Being Australian, that has a special meaning. And a good friend who now is an art therapist, who's a former dancer, she made this for me for I think it was my 30th birthday. And it's all my favorite things inside a teacup. And it's just such a cozy gift. And then recently, we actually found this piece at a brocante, and it's an elderly gentleman who makes these artworks down in Provence. And what's serendipitous is 2 weeks later, we actually were looking at some wedding venues, and we found an old church right on a river, which might be a sign that we should pick that venue. But in any case, I'm just so happy that we can look at that and cherish them every day. And yeah, and it's a nice way to bring some character and some, I forgot the other one. This one was recently Paul. He installed an art exhibition for Louis Vuitton in Osaka, Japan for a recent collection. And this was his invitation to their big opening night party. And he was quite excited that he was able to enjoy the whole experience and get to travel and work with art and a French company that also has a huge history in France. We actually have only recently added this under the window. It was outside in the garden, but we've kind of come in nice and cozy now. Got a dining nook as such, and it allows us to really maximize the space. Now we'll be able to have proper dinner parties, and usually we have even more seats, and perhaps we might even have a Christmas lunch soon. It's going to come around in no time. And so we didn't have this fireplace originally. It was kind of a hidden chimney vibe, minus the beautiful marble chimney, unfortunately. But we had the flue still ready to go. So we've repaired that, and we installed this vintage looking wood burner. And the smell of wood, just, you can't beat it. This is a testament that they don't make things how they used to. These little brushes have the most beautiful ornate details there that didn't even need to be installed like that. They could have just been flat, but they found beauty in everyday products. I just think they're so charming and lovely. And when we first bought this, we thought, we'll restore it and make it all brand new and make it all brass and polished. And actually, now that we're here, it's kind of rustic and I prefer it as it is. So we're going to keep it. It kind of has like a little bluish tone, which secretly matches the tiles in our kitchen perfectly. So our bedroom is nice and subtle and not overpowering or overbearing in the space. We wanted it to feel quite flexible and still keeping the charm and the warmth of the entire salon and dining area to kind of be actually the focal point. And we chose a white, like a little white woven fabric, which kind of brings more softness into the space. We kept the walls white and neutral on purpose because we wanted to make it seem neutral. And I suppose we do have a theme of rattan kind of coming in the pieces we've selected. These little Parisian bar stools are no exception. And I will admit, they're kind of pricey. And so we can only get them as we can afford them. At the moment, we've got 2 little tabourets, but I admire now when I go to cafes in Paris, if I see like a whole selection of cafe filled, I think, wow, like they're quality pieces and they come with a quality price. but they're just so timeless and quintessentially Parisian, and so I think they're just a really nice touch. So hopefully in time we'll be able to build up our collection more and more, but at the moment these are the perfect little sit-upons around the salon, so that when we have multiple people coming in for dinner and afternoon drinks and things like that, people can have a little spot to perch. Thank you for coming to visit our Paris garden studio. It's been a pleasure to show you around and hear some of the stories that's gone in behind it. And I'm going to go stoke the fire now so that it stays cozy for a little bit longer. Join us for the rest of our renovation on Restore Bonjour. You can find us there, and we hope to see you soon. Bye.